Breaking news next at 6, a suspicious package investigation. Part of the streets at South Point Mall had to be evacuated after suspicious packages were reported. What we know about that ongoing investigation. Also, head-on crash, a Raleigh man is facing charges after police say he intentionally swerved into oncoming traffic. What we know about the people injured. Plus, summer hours, the DMV has resumed Saturday hours at several locations. What services are now available and where?
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We're on top of two breaking stories on WRAL News at 6. Parts of the streets at South Point Mall were evacuated after suspicious packages were left inside. And a Raleigh man is facing charges connected to a crash that police say was intentional and left two others injured. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. I'm Eric Miller. Let's get right to Durham, where the Sheriff's Office bomb squad is investigating those suspicious packages. WRAL's Willie Danley joining us live from the streets at South Point. Willie, what are we learning about this investigation?
Well, Eric, within the last couple of minutes, this scene is continuing to grow. And I'll tell you, this is actually the second time that I've been here in the last 24 hours. Last night, it was for fireworks mistaken for gunfire. And today, it's a mysterious package found in a bathroom at Nordstrom. I want to give you a look at this traffic backup that's been caused by this. And over here, you can see state troopers are beginning to block off the entrances to the streets at South Point. Now, take a look at this video and you can get a closer look at the scene. You see several police, fire, and bomb squad vehicles in that parking lot. I spoke to an employee who works at that Nordstrom. She told me that a suspicious package found in the bathroom was a suitcase. And after that suitcase was discovered, they were calmly told to evacuate the store. I spoke to a shopper who's in town for her son's lacrosse tournament, and she tells me it's an unsettling situation, and she hopes that this doesn't hurt business.
You know, it's sad because I feel like retail stores already probably struggle a little bit with the online shopping and just the internet. And so it's kind of sad if that's impacting businesses. As a small business owner myself, I would just hate to see, things like that deter people from shopping in places like this.
Right now, it appears that this scene is continuing to grow. We are working to learn more information if this evacuation has caused for the entire mall to evacuate, but we are seeing a lot of traffic coming out of here. If you're driving in this area, be advised for a backup of traffic. In Durham, Willie Danley, WRAL News.
Yeah, concerning situation there. Now to that breaking news in Raleigh, where a man is facing charges after police say he deliberately swerved his SUV into oncoming traffic, slamming into another car. An eyewitness saw the crash happen, and his dash camera even recorded it. Megan Glova is in the live center with what we've learned this afternoon. Megan.
Eric, that man has been identified as 33-year-old Anderson Singleton. And this crash did cause injuries to both passengers in each car, including Singleton's wife. They had severe but non-life-threatening injuries here. And as you mentioned, we do have dash cam video of the moment this all happened, but with some warning that some may find this disturbing. Take a look. Of the scene from the WRAL breaking news tracker after the crash. This happened on Rock Quarry Road at the intersection of Fox Ridge Manor just before 7 this morning. All involved were taken to Wake Med, and warrants do identify those in the other car as Candido Valdivieso and Nelson Lopez. As for Singleton, police say they're seeking warrants against him. Check out those charges: 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, 2 of those inflicting serious injury. Plus careless and reckless driving and driving left of center by patrol. Raleigh police are still investigating this, but do say that impairment was not a factor here. Back to you.
Well, Megan, thank you very much. We know you'll stay on top of it. A pickup truck driver died this morning after crashing into the Neuse River in Raleigh. Troopers tell us the driver was traveling west on Pool Road when he ran off the road, struck the bridge, and then fell into the river. The 65-year-old man who was driving was dead when troopers found him inside the truck. His name has not yet been released. We're tracking some showers and storms this evening. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione joins us in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at that radar.
Eric, it's been a little bit busy out there for some of us this afternoon and heading into this evening. Here's a look at radar, though, kind of the loop over the past 30 or so minutes. And we have seen a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, one of which is really a big warning at this point that I want to make you aware of. It includes a lot of counties there: Smithfield, Clayton, Wilson, Goldsboro. That goes until 6:45 this evening as this line continues to push south south and east for us over the next hour or so. We take it to probably about the heaviest part of this line, and you notice there's a little bit of a bowing from, let's say, Clayton back toward Anger. That could have some gusty winds with it for sure. That's going to be approaching Four Oaks, Coates, Benson, Smithfield over the next probably 10 to 15 minutes or so. We head a little bit farther to the east. Wilson, seeing some showers and thunderstorms there. Stantonsburg, Fremont. Again, this is all pushing down to the southeast as we continue to track that storm system. Here is Futurecast, though, doing a pretty good job of showing that it continues to move out. We should see all of this wind down probably by about 9 p.m. or so this evening. A beautiful start for us tomorrow morning, Eric, but then more storms on the way. We'll talk about when they get here tomorrow coming up.
Anthony, got to keep those umbrellas handy. Thank you very much. A man is recovering after a suspected drive-by shooting near a convenience store in Durham. It happened around 1:30 a.m. on Holloway Street near Miami Boulevard. You can see in this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker, investigators taking photos of that scene and glass scattered near that business's front door. Police say the victim was shot but is expected to recover. So far, no arrests have been made. A homicide suspect is dead after a shootout with police overnight. An officer was injured in that shootout. This all played out in Union County near Charlotte. The sheriff's office says 18-year-old Joshua Sykes is accused of killing 23-year-old Alvin Parson in the Indian Trail area. They say officers with the Monroe Police Department did not know about the murder when they initiated the chase with Sykes. The chase started at 1:45 when a Monroe police officer noticed a suspicious vehicle and tried to stop it. Sykes, who was driving the car, sped off. Officers then deployed stop sticks, and police say Sykes immediately opened fire on those officers. He hit one multiple times. She is stable this evening. Officers returned fire, killing Sykes. The State Bureau of Investigation is investigating the shooting, as is protocol in all officer-involved shootings. New DMV Saturday walk-in hours begin this weekend. These are just some of the scenes this morning outside of Durham East and Clayton. Lots of long lines out there. There are 2 of 4 new Saturday offices across the state. Here's a closer look at that line outside of the Durham office on South Miami Boulevard. We spoke with some of the people there in line. They told us they were pleased with how things were moving today.
It was definitely faster because I tried this week on Wednesday and I couldn't get in at a different location, but then came here today and I was able to get it.
Stood in line. 2 hours later I got inside, and then you get a ticket, you sit down, and then that went pretty fast once I got the ticket. And then the actual agent that helped was amazing. She was super quick, took the photo, did my vision test, and then I was out in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, good to hear you. If you're going to be in a line like that, you'll want it to move, right? There was some relief at the Clayton DMV location as well.
I've got it.
Yeah, she finally got her real ID. That has to feel good. It was certainly a long line, and some folks actually had to be turned away. But those who did get into the office are glad they came on a Saturday.
It's a test of your patience, but it's working.
Oh, well, I'm here to get my license renewed. I've been waiting out here for about 2 hours now and nowhere near the door.
I just got to keep waiting. Those expanded hours come after newly appointed DMV Commissioner Paul Tyne hosted a news conference yesterday with Governor Josh Stein. They wanted to highlight the state's response to ongoing DMV issues. Hundreds of mountain bikers and hikers gathered at Lake Crabtree County Park this afternoon, saying goodbye to a beloved piece of nature. 136 acres of the park will close tomorrow ahead of a planned development. A lease between Wake County and the RDU Airport Authority, which owns that land, is set to come to an end. RDU claims a rule from the FAA is requiring them to now get fair market value for the land. Mountain bikers and trail advocates have pushed back on that claim. Well, honoring a legacy, how a pro golfer from Raleigh is being remembered at a local championship this weekend, 1 year after his death. Plus, making big strides, the Museum of Life and Science's red wolf pups are growing up when you'll be able to see them in person. Welcome back. Taking a live look there over North Hills this afternoon. You can see some of those clouds off in the distance, a little rain shower Anthony was talking about. Got another check of that forecast in a few minutes. A sad update tonight. World War II veteran Bronis Avent, who was honored during a service this week in Rocky Mount, has died. He was 101 years old. Avent passed just hours after that service. He served in the Army and Air Force for more than 2 decades. 1 year after professional golfer from Raleigh died by suicide, his legacy is now being carried on. WRAL's Laura Levine shares how Grayson Murray is being honored at a local golf championship this weekend.
Clubs are swinging off the tee at the UNC Health Championship this weekend. For Grayson Murray's parents, Terry and Eric, attending golf tournaments has taken on a different meaning.
A little still overwhelmed. You know, in the very beginning, it was, you had to get through all the pain of losing him and the what ifs and all of that. We gave ourselves a certain amount of time to grieve his passing, and then we knew that we had to carry on his legacy.
Carrying on the life and legacy of pro golfer and Raleigh native Grayson Murray, who died by suicide in May of last year at the age of 30.
The grief is still there. It's there every day.
We recently went to Texas and walked the last hole that he ever played, and just looking up the fairway and knowing that he would never come down that fairway again, and I would never be at a tournament watching him. And you know, it took me a long time before I could even turn the TV on again and watch the PGA on the TV.
Pushing through the pain, they're making a difference with their Grayson in mind. They may not be standing by at the first hole, but they're on the front lines of a very crucial conversation.
We hear stories every single day, stories that you don't want to hear, but you have to hear. And people need to understand that depression and mental illness of any kind, it's the same as having cancer. And we need to talk about it more and more and more, not less and less.
In a journal after his passing, the two had discovered Grayson wanted to create a foundation, and so they followed his vision through months later.
The world is really just starting to wake up. If you think about Grayson's passing as an elite athlete, you know, really at kind of the realm of our society, and having mental health and frankly suicide penetrate that realm, you can imagine what the impact is on all walks of life.
They hope advocating for more awareness and advancing innovative services and research will save lives, pro athlete or not. And as the saying goes, they want others to know it's okay to not be okay.
Not only be kind to someone you know, be kind to someone you don't know, and also be kind to yourself every day.
Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
And the UNC Health Championship will hold an honorary tea event to honor Grayson Murray's memory tomorrow around 2:20. The Red Wolf puppies at the Museum of Life and Science in Durham continue to make some big strides. The three brothers received their first round of parasite prevention and are starting to wander outside of the den. The museum is reopening its wolf exhibit on Monday. They say the best time to see those pups is just after opening, early in the morning or later in the afternoon before closing. The museum wants to remind visitors to use quiet voices when walking by the habitat or the overlook. Anthony, I got to imagine a lot of people are going to want to get out and see those pups. Hopefully they won't be dealing with those storms we got rolling through.
It's just the same pattern we've been in, I feel like, the past couple of weeks, where we get the morning a little bit quiet, and then through the afternoon and evening we get some storms bubbling up. I want to get us right over to radar, though, because it's certainly been very active this afternoon heading into this evening for many of us out there. Here is where we are looking at over the past, let's say, 2 hours or so for this line kind of continue to push through. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning, and it's a really big severe thunderstorm warning for, let's say, Smithfield, Goldsboro, Wilson, all the way down toward Dunn. Doesn't include downtown Raleigh, doesn't include Durham at this point, but that goes until 6:45 as that line itself continues to push to the southeast at about 45 miles an hour here. There is the track, though, that I just put on a little bit ago for, let's say, Pikeville right about now, Irwin 622, Dunn about 624, Goldsboro we're looking at about 631 if this continues to hold together, and it has. We've been tracking this here for probably about an hour or so. This is, I would say, kind of the strongest part of this cell, if you will. You can kind of see a little bit of some bowing, if you will, like it kind of pushes out ahead of itself. Whenever we see that, that would lend itself to a potential for some gusty, damaging winds. Smithfield, this is knocking on your doorstep right now. 4 Oaks as well. And again, that's going to continue to push to the southeast, probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. Just outside of the warning, Sanford, we're still seeing some pretty decent rainfall, and even toward Lidlington, that's coming down pretty heavily at the moment. And that will continue to be the case for at least the next probably hour or so. We head toward Fremont, Pikeville. This cell continue to push again southeast and starting to really lighten up as you get to the north of that. that. Here's our live look, though. Our Wilson camera. The whirligigs are whirling out there with some of that wind. We have the cloud cover in place. Scattered showers and thunderstorms going to be a possibility, if not likelihood, for us at least over the next probably 2 hours or so. Here's Futurecast. So we put this into motion through tonight. By 8 to 9 p.m., most of this should be wrapping up. I don't anticipate much coverage or any coverage for us overnight. We start us off tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. It's going to be beautiful. Sunshine, comfortable temperatures. It is a dry start. But then like today, we head through the afternoon into the evening and we get some more bubble up storms. There's a look at 1 o'clock or so. We start off with the sunshine. Cloud cover starts to fill in through the day, and very similar to today, we'll see some storms trying to develop by this time tomorrow. Look at temperatures, though, to wake up in the morning. 50 degrees on the dot there in Roxborough, 56 in Raleigh. Most of us in the mid to upper 50s. It will be a comfortably cool start. 80 or so tomorrow for many of us from the, let's say, Fayetteville, Clinton area or so. I think around the Triangle, probably about 79. Showers and thunderstorms start to push in by the evening. But look at next week. We are much, much quieter at this point. We're at 81 on our Monday, 86 on Tuesday. So, yes, we start to ramp temperatures up there, Eric, back at 90 on Friday. But rain chances, storm chances, really not much in the forecast next week. So we can dry out and just have a calmer week ahead.
I'm just enjoying the lack of humidity while we got it. Anthony, thank you very much. All right, we were just talking about the hockey hangover, Pat. It's hard to get past hurricane season, but at least we got a little baseball to help fill things in.
Yeah, a lot of local teams playing in the NCAA tournament right now, and NC State facing elimination this afternoon. I'll tell you how the Pack Bats bounce back after a tough start in regionals next. Nightmare start for the Wolfpack Friday. They gave up 7 runs in the first inning and were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Facing elimination, though, they flipped the script today. State, Central Connecticut. You know, Elliott Avent had him ready to play. First inning, and this is how you start a baseball game. How about Alex Sosa? Absolute blast to dead center, 430 feet. Just like that, it's 2-0 Pack. Go to the top of the 4th. Ryder Woodson making his 3rd start of the season. And what a time for his first home run. 6-0 NC State. Meanwhile, Ryan Marone was dealing on the mound as well. State bounces back. They win 12-0. It's becoming not just a great day, but a great month to be a Tar Heel. Chapel Hill's Ben Griffin picked up his first individual PGA Tour victory last weekend. He's now leading again at the Memorial. Griffin 6 under through 12. It's okay to be disappointed by how the Hurricane season ended, but you also have to keep in mind where it began. They know how to get to the conference final. Now it's all about taking that next step. Canes players got reflective in exit interviews.
Disappointing ending for Rod Brindamore and the Canes.
This has been obviously a little frustrating right now, and just trying to unpack what happened the last month or so, and then all season long. But you want to be in these situations. You want to be in playoffs. You want to have a chance at all the things. It's not easy to win, and there's opportunity to always get better. And the group we have and how it played out this year, we have a great opportunity to take the next step.
I don't want to sit here and talk about lessons, but I think we did see a team that knows how to play in these these type of situations.
Slides it across, score! Corner for Hagee!
And I think they hit us hard a few times in especially the 4 games that we lost. I think they came and showed when they kind of smelled blood, they went for it and kind of got us a little bit. I don't think we really gave ourselves the best chance of winning. Obviously, that's not a guarantee, even though we play our best to win, but I think we could have given ourselves a better chance.
Last off-season, obviously, to be quite honest, I was kind of disappointed how it went because, I think we lost a couple guys that I'd like to see us to keep, and at the trade deadline we tried, make a push, and we do appreciate that the team wants us to get better, and I feel like maybe making right choices in the off season, maybe you don't have to try to throw a Hail Mary at the deadline.
I think you hear teams how hard it is to make the playoffs alone, to get through the first round, second round. That's it's hard at this point to feel good about that, but I do know from in previous years, like those are the years you do look back and you think about that group and how much has to go right to get to that point.
Brent Burns rarely speaks to the media. When he does, you listen. Decision time for the Canes front office on the 40-year-old defenseman. Him and Orlov, two big names and salaries that could come off the books. Carolina projected $28 million in cap space. So they understand their weaknesses. I'd expect a big swing. And Eric, we're hoping to see UNC baseball swing here soon versus Oklahoma. That game's been delayed till 6:36.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot to look out for. Pat, thank you very much. And thank you for joining us. Have a great evening. Have more WRAL news throughout tonight. We'll also continue to stay on top of those breaking stories, including at the streets at South Point Mall in Durham and that head-on crash here in Raleigh. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good evening.